Yep. Yeah.
Fire. So how long have you been living in Dubai for?
It's been about 2 years and 3 months, something like that.
3 years. Nice. So, essentially what I want to do is, you know, give yourself, a little introduction. You can kind of say what you're doing specifically. Obviously, I know we talked previously on Telegram. So right now, what's your main business?
I do logistics and transportation. It's in the US mostly, so US
Mhm.
domestic.
Yep.
And we kind of service do it's like two parts of the same coin, two sides of the same coin. So one part is we service trucking companies. As a
Mhm.
dispatch company, we service trucking companies in the US. On the other hand, we broker out shipments, so we work with manufacturers directly. So it's like two sides of the same coin. That's why.
Okay. Nice. So you're
Yeah.
doing both. You're brokering them,
Yeah.
but are you brokering most of these shipments out to your team, I imagine?
Automating, you mean to the trucking companies we are servicing?
Correct. Correct.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens, but mostly it would be to outside carriers. It wouldn't
Oh,
be to the
so
ones we service. Yeah.
okay, so I understand it. So you're doing brokering and dispatching, but you don't own your own
Exactly.
trucks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Got
Exactly.
it. Okay.
You
Well,
got it
I'm
right.
I'm pretty familiar with the broker side. Just because I've ran broker sales teams before. It's pretty
Oh,
uh it's
nice.
pretty brutal from what I can say. So
Yeah.
how did you get into this business?
In my home country, they were doing logistics, so it was like a logistics office. They were dealing with trucks too, but in a little bit of a different way. Their setup was different. It wasn't the exact same thing, so I was thinking, why can't I kind of do my own thing with the information I got from these offices I was working in? So yeah, just after that, I got connected with one driver and just got close with him. Started dispatching for him, and then from there on, I got just more trucks, more trucks, more trucks. Hired employees, and just started growing like that. And
Mhm.
then once the time was right, I grew into and expanded into brokering as well. That
Nice.
that's that's the
Nice.
story. Yeah.
So you started with dispatching, saw the money in there, and then you just basically are just doing both sides of the equation.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Nice.
It was quite a process. The brokering process is much harder, as you said. You are familiar with the sales of the brokerage side quite a bit, and yes, it's brutal. The driver side, getting close with the driver took such a little amount of time because it's just one person you are getting close with, right? Like I'm talking
Mhm.
to you, and if we match each other, kind of, it's very easy to start working together. But in the case of brokering, it's like a whole department you have to go through the gatekeepers and all of this, the right person to talk to in that company. So it's much different. It took me like 5 months before I was able to actually get any customer with the brokerage side.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. That makes sense. So for anyone that's not familiar, obviously I understand it, but kind of break down in simple terms both the dispatching and how the freight brokering works.
Oh, but you mean the business models? Break
Correct.
them
Yeah,
down in
yeah,
simple terms?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what a dispatcher does is there are a lot of, not multiple, a lot of thousands, hundreds of thousands of truck drivers in the US. These drivers need help in multiple sectors. For example, accounting, finding shipments that they can take from A to B, and all of these things take time. So a driver can focus on the road, drive, and at the same time find the right shipment to book for his next trip. He would be
Mhm.
wasting a lot of time. So that's why dispatchers come in while the driver is going from A to B. A dispatcher can handle all of those processes: call, find shipments, where is this going, how much the weight is, the schedule, etc. Do all the planning while the driver is focused on the road. So that's the main reason truck drivers need dispatchers. And
Mhm.
also accounting. A lot of these companies don't want to really pay you unless you are like going after them. I have cases like this every single week where the brokerages or the shipper maybe just doesn't want to pay the driver. They're just delaying it. It's not straight up, hey, we are not
Right.
going to pay you, but they delay it. So we chase them, we get the money for them. If the driver would have to do all of this alone, he would just crash out at some point because it's way too much stress. Even if you are handling only that, you get stressed. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's this dispatch side. And the brokerage side is you are again helping. You are actually working with truck drivers again, obviously, But what you are doing is there's a manufacturing company that built something. Let's say a construction equipment. I do a lot of construction equipment, so that's why that's the example I'm giving. They built this construction equipment in the state of Louisiana, let's say, but now they have a buyer in another state, let's say Colorado. The Colorado buyer or the dealership wants that unit in the state of Colorado. Somebody has to arrange the transportation of this unit now from Louisiana to Colorado. And that's when brokers like us come in. We will speak with the manufacturer. We will see when they need this unit to be picked up from their warehouse, their facility. And then when they want it delivered in Colorado, make all the arrangements, speak with some drivers, see what the rate is that they're looking for to get the job done. And once we have that rate, once we have the quote from these carriers, we will add our margin on top of it and quote the customer, quote the manufacturing company. And if they accept it, we arrange it, we pay the driver his money, and we get our money from the manufacturing company, and whatever the difference is our profit. And that's the brokerage in a nutshell.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's perfect. You'll have to talk to my business partner after this. He's obviously in the States. He used to be a broker. Now he's building out a software company. It's a TMS, but it's a little bit more robust than that. Are you currently using a TMS right now?
Yeah, I use it. It's quite an old one, but it works. I mean, I
What is
like
it,
it.
McLeod?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're using McLeod. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you doing, do you have full-time operations people? Or are you doing full scale? Cradle to
You
grave.
mean whether or not I have staff members?
So are you like for your, well, let me ask this better question for you. I guess right now with the freight brokerage side, how is it split up? Because for the teams that I've worked with, it was sales, operations, complete split. They weren't doing full cradle to grave. How are you guys typically doing it over there?
Yeah, so my agreement with the brokerage that I'm working with is they take a certain amount of percentage and they will help me with things like like the carrier compliance part, for example. So
Mhm.
there's a carrier compliance department that will handle some of the compliance issues of some of the carriers that I want to work with. Maybe there is something I don't notice about that carrier, maybe an issue, a CSA score is too high or something like that. They will help me out with that side. Or if there's a claim issue, getting the carriers paid out. So there are specific services that they take a percentage off of my profits, but they give me those services. So it's like there's a team that does all of those things. I don't have to handle claims myself, accounting, blah, blah. And then whatever you want to do, the rest of it, like I can have a sales guy if I want. I can have a guy who is going to create the shipments in the TMS, etc. So that's all on you. Like you can decide how you want to do it. So
Right.
at the moment, I just have a guy who is doing the sales, who is doing calls, and then I have one more guy in Armenia who is doing the automation of like gathering new prospect lists, emailing, and just looking after it, and then updating our database so I know who I should
Mhm.
call next, etc. Things like this. And yeah, as far as the brokerage goes, that's the main setup. If if
Mhm.
if maybe you need more details about the setup, yeah,
No, I
I mean I
think
can
I
give
think
them.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean brokerage is tough because there's so many different moving parts as far as
Yeah.
you know, because you don't own your own trucks. You obviously are very, very flexible, but there's times, at least when I was training these teams, to where, there's a dry spout and they reach out to companies and they want something very, very specific or something weird. Like wedge trailer, like really, really odd things, not like, a normal reefer or a dry van and things
Out
like
of the ordinary stuff, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then obviously the rates and stuff like that. So that's interesting. So you just saw opportunity pretty much on both sides to make money, and it's like, hey, might as well do it. Have you,
Yeah.
my biggest thing with business is like I want to focus as much as possible just on one singular thing. So like my whole thing is like I'm building sales teams and helping scale B2B companies. So like I'm just solely focused on that. And I always have the issue with it's like the devil on two shoulders. I'm trying to make as much money as possible, but also not dilute my focus because I know, if I have, one or two companies I can scale, I'm going to be focused on them. They're going to make as much money as possible. But then sometimes I feel like I need to make more money. Do you ever feel that way with both doing dispatching and brokering, or you kind of just see it as, it just coincides with one each other?
Yeah, I got your point. Yep. With the dispatching and brokering, no, because it's the same exact industry. It's just two sides of it. So no, I don't feel like they are contradicting each other and making me slower in any way. I wouldn't say that.
Mhm.
But before that, yeah, I was kind of trying to do different things, making money online in a different way, and then I realized, nah, that's
Right.
just not the right way to go about it. Yeah, it's like now I want to not only now because it's already been a while. I want to make this as like that golden egg you have, that one skill you are indispensable at. So
Yep.
this logistics would be that indispensable place where I just can't be replaced too easily, and I just want to be that skilled in this dispatching side, brokering side, and then yeah, if I want to do things on the side, like sometimes I do car rentals, or sometimes I will do, if someone wants to open a company here, yeah, I
Sure.
will do a referral, they'll open a company, etc. Like minor things like that, which don't
Yeah,
actually put my
exactly.
focus away from logistics. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it's the same industry, so it doesn't contradict.
Mhm.
They don't
Yeah, that's kind
contradict
of the
each other.
toughest thing because, especially with social media. Well, the biggest thing for me is, dude, I had to block all social media off my phone because it's like, I mean, I didn't really see it as that much, positive versus I'm still able to post. I just have a virtual assistant on there. But my point is, every single time you're on social media, you're getting, at least for me, because I click on these ads because I'm like funnel hacking people and trying to see, how their marketing is working. You're getting hammered with ads nonstop, like, oh, we're this is the best business model or yada yada yada. And dude, it
Yeah.
gets it gets obnoxious at first because you're like, dude, maybe I just started doing this. I got to start doing this now. And it's like that's the biggest problem with most people, and I feel like that's most people's biggest regret is just having this shiny object syndrome.
Like,
Um,
and also it's also like a thing with FOMO. They think they're gonna miss out on that business model. So
right.
just focus on yours, man.
Right.
Focus
And
on
the
yours.
biggest thing that I've seen too is like, dude, there's millionaires, there's billionaires in literally every industry. It's like you just gotta focus on one thing and just hammer it. Even
Yeah.
when things are down, it's like you just gotta double down. And the same goes too, because I'm a big marketing guy with like paid ads and email and things like that. It's like so many companies that I talk to, they try one acquisition system, it doesn't get them the results and they just start over and they just start doing a new one. It's like regardless if it's a business model to business model, shiny object syndrome is everywhere. You got to hammer one thing in business, whether it's the business model and the business strategy, and just go all in on it. Because that's where I see so many business owners. Maybe they don't see results with paid ads for like a week, and they're like, "Oh, we want to do this." And I'm like, "My boy, literally everything works. You just got to hammer it and just put way more effort into it." And just keep on reiterating.
Yeah, I like the idea of saying that every business model works. There's no like oversaturation or something like that. If you are actually exceptional, you have some exceptional skills, which you can all, of course, develop over time. It's not like the very first day you are going to be exceptional. Over
Yep.
time, if you develop and become an exceptional person in that specific industry, there is no oversaturated industry. If
Mhm.
you ask anyone, they will say that that brokering is oversaturated. Like there is too
Right.
many people calling these shippers, and that's true. There's a lot of people. Like every single shipper probably gets like 10, 20 calls minimum every
Sure.
single day. Yeah, it's
Sure.
oversaturated in a way, but if you are exceptional, it's still gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, the thing is I'm sure shippers are just getting 9 times out of 10 just terrible calls. It's like people are leading because that was my thing is I was doing sales training. People were giving these shippers up a call and immediately pitching, saying like, "Oh, we can guarantee rates," and just lying. And if a shipping manager has been there for, you know,
Yeah,
20 years, they know how the market is. They've been through cycles, so it's like they know you can't guarantee, especially if you're a broker, different rates because if you guarantee a rate and the rate is down, you're just going to lose money as a broker and you're just lying.
exactly.
So that's the biggest thing is like, dude, there's so many people that are just ass. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the US market, but like we have like, for example, Total Quality Logistics. That's a huge, huge
I
broker in
know them.
the
Yeah,
US. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
I
yeah, of
know them.
course. And so like they're obviously a huge company And there's a joke. It's like that's the army. That's the army of sales. So like all the
Yeah.
kids that were terrible in school and like couldn't get a good job, they all just went to
Mhm.
TQL because their churn rate is super high. They'll just hire anyone.
Yeah, and then but TKO does a lot of bad things, like so, especially for their I think towaway or loadout trailers. But they just open a lot of unnecessary claims on carriers, like just a lot. They have a bad name. They have
So
a very bad
walk me
name.
through that specifically.
It's like you will take a trailer from A to B as always, but sometimes they will let you use that trailer for a shipment, so you can take that trailer, put some freight in it, if you don't have a trailer yourself. It's like a loadout trailer. I don't know. Maybe it's called a towaway. I confuse those two words sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
really do
That makes
that, but
sense.
that's the whole point. You just take the trailer. They are not really paying you for it. You just take the trailer to its destination, but at the same time, you can use it. You can put freight in it and make money. That's the point.
Mhm.
You take it, you deliver it, and sometimes they will say, "Oh, there was this little thing on the trailer. We are going to open a claim now. You scratched it or something," and they'll just open claims on carriers.
Mhm.
There have been numerous
That makes
cases like
sense.
that where carriers is just unnecessary claims.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm on a bunch
And
of
usually they will find out about it quite after a while. Like you
right.
deliver it, and then you find out you've been paid like half the amount or something.
Yeah, that's that's pretty
It's like
crazy.
that.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Um, so as far as you goes, because I like to talk about like very, very technical things, like as far as the business goes. As far as your company specifically, you don't need to get into details because I understand it. But like, what's the overall structure as far as what you're doing for hiring wise?
Hiring wise,
Yeah.
every single employee I have is working remotely.
Mhm.
Only 10 days ago, 10 maybe 14 days ago, I decided I'm going to start hiring in Dubai as well. I
Oh,
got
nice.
500 I got 550 applicants.
Holy
I
shit.
only chose I only chose one girl. I only chose one girl because English matters a lot. It's just very
Right.
hard to for people to understand anything, any SOPs to follow if their English is not good enough. And especially in logistics, in the US logistics nowadays, if your English isn't good enough, it's just you are untrustworthy, you are a fraudster, you are a
Yeah.
scam. But that's understandable. I understand now. I'm not blaming anybody because a
Yeah.
lot of the scams that are happening, that happened in the past, it came from people who couldn't speak English well enough. And I understand why it has become the way it is. But it is what it is. That one girl was the only one with relatively better English. So I hired her. So she has already started working,
Mhm.
taking care of some tasks such as invoicing for the dispatch side. Because as I said, the brokering side, the invoicing and all of that is handled by the people in the US,
Right.
which they take a percentage for. But yes, the dispatching side needs someone to handle that, and she's the one doing it now. Yeah,
That makes
I got 14 employees at the moment, except this girl. All of the other ones are working remotely. That's the best thing about it. Everyone
okay.
works remotely.
Yeah.
The controlling is hard. It's hard to control employees remotely, especially here, when there's a lot of documentation involved, and you have to be very cautious. Like it's not like one of those online agencies and you have VAs here and there. It's not like that. It's actually like an actual business and with actual
Right.
documentation that is confidential, and it's quite a little bit hard to have remotely
Mhm.
employees working remotely, but it is what it is.
Right. No, that makes sense. I feel like there's obviously pros and cons to both in office and in virtual. My biggest thing is like, dude, there's 100% way more money in having everyone work. Ideal situation, everyone can work in an office, especially when you're the business owner. It's like you just have way more control, but also
Yes.
the pool that you can recruit from is going to be way smaller, obviously, if it's local. But yeah, it can be, dude, it can be tough because I'm constantly on my phone and I'm constantly working and you start to forget like the weekends and shit. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm hammering people like, bro, why aren't you doing shit? And it's like, oh, it's Saturday. So that's a tough thing. So most of your people are in the US though, correct? Or just all over?
Nah, nah. China. I
Oh,
have I have
nice.
two guys in the China, US, Armenia, France,
Nice. That's good.
Dubai. Now Dubai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. So, as far as like the sales goes, and you don't, like I said, you don't need to dox anything specific if you don't want to go over it, but like what have you seen work with logistics sales? Because obviously I know it's a much different sale than like a transactional sale to where it's, hey, one-time payment. I know obviously this is recurring. What have you seen really work, and what are some things that are just not working on the sales side?
Number one, I would say volume. It always works. Volume.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. Because with these manufacturers, it's like if you have an equipment which costs $200,000, it's not like the first time I'm gonna call you, you're gonna be like, hey Arman, yeah, sure, take it, arrange the transportation of this 200K unit.
Mhm.
There has to be trust built over time. How do you do that? Volume. If we keep talking, if I keep calling you, or if I keep emailing you, so you hear about me in some way, there are people who do this like unique approach to broker sales. They will
Mhm.
dig deep into companies. I've seen some guy approaching the sales through the accounting department, which was very unique. Like he would speak to the accounting departments, find out issues in the accounting department, and then offer solutions to the like the logistics manager using the accounting department's issues, which is very unique. But it's like more research, more creative way of
Right.
doing
Not
things,
as
which
much
is not
volume,
my
I
way.
imagine.
Yeah, not that's not my way of doing things. I've always done volume, and it always works good for me. Always
Mhm.
work different ways. There's not a specific way I would say I always get customers. It's like kind of random. That's why I'm saying volume.
Right.
LinkedIn, email, phone, message maybe someone, etc. We deliver the shipment somewhere. I'll speak with that guy who accepted the freight. So it's like totally different, but volume always works. Just do
Yeah.
more.
100%. I feel like people just negate that. It's the obvious, but it's like it's the toughest. But dude, if you're ripping 300 dials a day, it's like, and you're actually having genuine conversations, you're gonna land somebody. Granted, doing 300 dials a day is brutal, but it's just gonna get the job done. So many people are looking for like simple, or not simple, but so many
Like
people are looking
perfect
for just
script.
clicks.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
I'm saying there a lot of them are looking for like the perfect script. Oh, if I say this, then that, then that. Oh, they are gonna say
Right.
yes, we want to work with you. That it doesn't exist. Doesn't
Right.
exist.
Yeah. I mean, dude, sales at the end of the day just comes down to just having a genuine conversation. Like my biggest thing is obviously having standard procedures are important, but humans are completely different. So it's like if you say X, not every time Y is going to happen. But it's like, sure, there's obviously principles to asking specific questions. And, if you ask this question more times than not, people are gonna give you this information. But a lot of that's what I noticed too, is like in every single industry, I'm training people, and yes, we have frameworks. I hate calling it scripts, but so many people are like, well, I used this on the framework and it didn't work. And it's like, well, my boy, like this is sales. The only time you're going to be closing at 90% in sales is if you're scamming. Like realistically, you're only going to be closing a very small percentage of people. You just got to do outbound and see what works. And also, what
Yeah.
works for me is not going to work for you. You got to understand like your personality type and how you sell. And that's why I'm so against, hammering scripts and things like that, because I do understand the importance of having SOPs, but also people respond differently, and also humans all sell differently. So you really just got to push into your strengths. That's at least kind of what I've seen. What are your thoughts as far as logistics goes on that?
Yeah. For example, when I hire an employee and I train them, I tell them that I'm teaching you the fundamentals, the vocabulary, the grammar. I'm sorry, the grammar. Imagine, think of it as learning a language. I'm giving you the grammar. You should know the grammar perfectly. But when you start speaking in this language, in this new language, which is logistics, you should use your own vocabulary when speaking. Because, for example, I'll say it simply like this: when I use the phrase "good afternoon," it just doesn't sound good for me. I just can't say it properly. So
Yeah,
when I
that's
speak, I will
horrible.
never say good afternoon. Yeah, it just doesn't go well with me. So you should know the grammar, know the fundamentals, and then use your own vocabulary to speak to people. That's number one. because if you try to copy the way I'm speaking, it might not work for you. Just like you said, every person is different, and there may be phrases you are very good at using, the tonality, the emphasis you put on each word, etc. You might be good at doing that with your own words. I'm good with my own words. So just know the fundamentals, know the grammar. That should give you the foundation to form correct, grammatically correct sentences. That's how I train my guys. So whenever they are calling brokerages, for example, to book shipments for our drivers, for example, they know the grammar, they know how to speak, they know what they're calling for, and what information they need. But speak in your own words. Don't copy
Right.
me fully.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's a good point. I think realistically, when you're training everything, obviously including sales, but like unfortunately, people are getting dumber and dumber with technology and AI. Obviously, AI is helpful, but I feel like people are very, very reliant on it. My point being is a lot of people can't really think for themselves. So what I see when I'm training sales reps and other people is they're simply just following, they start to follow things script by script so that when somebody brings something up that takes them off the script, they're like
Mm,
completely befuddled and they don't know how to handle it. So like my whole
yeah.
background is I just try to break it down into chunks and I say, hey, this is the framework. You have this framework, this part, and this part of the call. But here is why we ask these questions. And I just explain to them the whole psychology behind it because there's so many sales teams and so many different business owners that just give them the script and say, follow this to a T. And it's like, sure, that's going to be helpful. But if you get off the path, you're going to be screwed up because people don't understand why they're doing it. But if people can understand the whole why and, oh, I'm saying this because it's evoking this, it's like, okay, perfect. But if people only know I need to say this at this moment, it's like you're going to get screwed up. And that brings me to my next point. Like I was on Instagram the other day and I saw this software. Basically, it's a software for sales reps that connects to, like a Zoom or Google Meet. And it basically just gives you the answers for what you should say for when a rep says something. And it's like, sure,
Mm,
that sounds awesome, but that's also going to screw up the wrong type of sales rep that's a complete beginner. Because
yeah.
imagine we're having a conversation. I'm a brand new sales rep. I'm just looking at the software and then it's saying something completely random because things go wrong with software. And then I just start saying some bullshit because I'm not using my head. That's why
Yeah.
that type of stuff never works because it's like you got to understand most people just can't think for themselves. So that's kind of my whole thought behind it. You got to train people why you're actually doing it, not just what to say.
Yeah, you gotta teach them to think. And it's not even creativity, but the ability to think and come up with solutions to problems.
Hmm.
Like I will teach a dispatcher if a truck breaks down. I will ask them a question. If a truck breaks down, for example, what will you do? Some people just can't find the answer. Like think of it. If your car broke down, what would you do?
Yeah,
Like they can't connect it like that,
they're
unless I
looking for
tell
like
them,
a
hey,
textbook
if you're
answer.
yeah. But if I tell them if your car broke down, what would you do? Then they come up with the answer. They are unable to connect the dots a lot of the time,
Hmm.
and that's a very big issue with a lot of people. They just can't connect the dots. I can teach them how to handle that issue. Like if we had this happen before, the driver forgot the keys of the truck inside the truck and he couldn't open it. He couldn't get inside the truck. And then what the dispatcher did was search on Google how to open a door of the truck. He saw something about using a tooth floss or a toothbrush to do it. And it was like, "Do you have a toothbrush with you?" I'm like, "Bro, you just have to call a locksmith."
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. That's
So it's
hilarious.
like a lot of people have trouble connecting the dots, and the
Yeah,
problem is that you just can't teach people how to handle every problem. Hey, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. You have to think for yourself sometimes, because
yeah,
even if the AI thing is not going to be with you all the time, is it?
yeah,
Maybe your clock breaks down in the middle of nowhere when you are having dinner with your wife.
yeah,
AI isn't there. What you gonna do? I
yeah.
mean,
Dude, the amount of
that's
times,
that's
and
very
I've fell victim to this is like I'm just spamming Chat GBT or Claude, like for everything. Maybe I'm just building, an automation for business. I'm not, the most technical, but I've been getting good. And then throughout my day, I'm asking them like specific questions where it's like, dude, I could think of this on my, like, why the fuck am I just put ChatGPT down, like, bro, why the fuck? I could literally figure this out on my own. It's ridiculous. This is a random question. Are most of your employees, are you W2ing them? I guess you guys wouldn't
I
expect
don't, nah, I don't. It's like more, it's more of like
salary.
kind of like like a handshake agreement, kind of. I do still
Right.
NDAs, but I still do NDAs, but for the most part, it's like a handshake
Yeah,
agreement type
yeah.
of thing.
Or are they, sorry,
Yeah.
because I forget you're not in the US. I guess it'd be different terms. For in the US, we say like W2 is like this is, salary, obviously. 1099 is like commission only. For most of your reps, are
Yeah.
they salary or are they
No,
commission only?
salary never works. Yes, salary never works in this business because no. Let me rephrase that. Salary never works if it's about finding shipments or doing sales.
For
You
sales.
can't. They're not gonna be motivated to do that if they know they're gonna get paid at the end of the month $2,000, for example, for booking 10 shipments and the same amount of money for booking 100 shipments. They're obviously gonna just book the 10, the minimum amount,
Yeah,
kind of. But if
100%.
they know the more they book, the more they do, they are going to get paid more, they are more motivated. And that's normal. So for those positions, I only do commission. But
Mhm.
for the girl I hired here, it's a fixed salary because it's a set of tasks that she has to complete. And
Right.
that's
There's
pretty
a
much
goal.
it. Yeah, it's like a set list of tasks and that's it.
Right.
So that's why it's a fixed salary.
She's doing ops, right?
Yeah, like emailing back and forth with brokerages and invoicing. That's pretty much it.
Right. Right. That
To
makes
put it
sense.
simply, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the
So
biggest thing, dude, the W2 or salary sales reps, they can never close, they can't close a door. I've talked to
yeah,
so many different reps and all the guys that are coming from W2, like a bigger corporate company where they get a high base and then their quotas is some bullshit like, oh, you'll get a bonus if you do X, Y, and Z. Dude, they're never that good. And they're always like so fucking lazy. But like the guys, for me, I've never had a sales job where it was salary. It was always commission only. It's like that literally takes out half the fun with sales because it's like, bro, you gotta just go out, even if you're feeling like
yeah,
shit
yeah.
and you gotta
The
pay your bills,
adrenaline and all of that, yeah,
bro,
it's different.
you you just got to get on the phones and like all these
Yeah,
W2 and salary guys, they literally can't even close a front door. And it's like, bro, if you're asking me for a salary on and I understand, granted, there are some industries where deals don't get closed for 6 months. I understand that a little bit more. But dude, if we're doing transactional sales and people are asking, oh, can I get hourly or can I get salary? I'm like, my boy, you just don't have any belief in yourself to that you're going to close any deals. Like I wouldn't even pay you to begin with. It makes no sense.
yeah. Those first offices I worked in, well, I wanted a base salary. It was going to be base salary plus commission,
Hmm.
and I kind of understood already I can do it, but I still wanted the safety. But the owner of that office told me like you're gonna regret it. Don't do it. I said,
Can't do
all
it.
right, fuck it. I'm not doing it. Only commission only. It was stressful. It was scary, but it definitely worked out so much better because all that adrenaline, the rush you have to actually get it done. Because if you don't do it, you're not gonna make money. It's
Right.
a great feeling, but at the same time, the stress is not something that everyone can handle. I think
Yeah,
you
100%.
either let it fuel you or it just crushes you.
Yeah. And being young too, you gotta get it out the way first because a lot of these guys who have families, I understand it. It's like they can't be
Yeah,
taking commission only roles, especially if it's a longer sales cycle. I mean, dude, being an entrepreneur and doing any commission only work, it sucks when you're first starting off, but once you can already pay your bills, it's like fuck it. I would never go back to doing anything else. Like once you just get over the initial hump, it's like, bro, you're chilling. Like I would never go back to doing, even when you're losing money on months, it's like I would never go back to doing the
yeah.
salary only because you got to go to an office, yada yada, all that stuff.
And doing any type of business is kind of like commission only job, kind of in
Right,
a way, you know?
right.
Every business is kind of like that. It's a commission based job, pretty
Yeah,
much.
100%. What do you see as far as, and like I said, you don't need to get into details, but as far as your process goes for like prospecting, because I'm big into sales, are you obviously you're doing volume? Are you typically breaking it up by the industry? And it's like, okay, this week I'm hammering this industry, or this week, I'm looking for only dry vans specifically, or is it more just spray and pray? Obviously, the very, very unique shipments you're not going to go after. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for example, I don't really touch anything that's going to be refrigerated. I just don't like it. For example, food products, vegetables, things like that. I do have a very low volume of it, but it kind of came in as an accident, let's say. It was just a guy who wanted to leave his old brokerage, and I spoke with him. He had a customer that does vegetables, so yeah, we started working, but it's not like I was focused on doing that. I
Right.
mostly try to go, I just do trade shows. That's the one thing I love, doing
Mhm.
trade show shipments. So shipping booth materials to the convention centers. And then also, if they don't throw the material away, I'll just take it back to the warehouse where it's shipped out of. And construction equipment. Those are the two main things I really love doing. Construction equipment, because it's always like 99% of the time it ships on flatbed and it just looks cool in the pictures. I just love receiving these pictures, saying, oh, yeah, it just
Yeah.
looks cool.
Yeah.
That and the trade shows is just fun. It's more money. It's yeah, I just love trade shows.
That makes sense.
So yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that's where a lot of the money is. As far as most of your tasks during the day, you got obviously got two parts of the business. What are you mainly doing day to day? Are you just recruiting? Are you actually in the trenches? What are you doing specifically?
Yeah, I would call it the trenches. Yeah, I would call it like that.
That's what my
I love
business
it though.
partner calls it when he's doing ops.
Yeah, I mean, I do it 7 days a week. It's not like a day where I'm off. I don't do that. It's also because I just love doing it. Sometimes I just love doing it. I will like telling them to okay, take a day off. I will do this thing because I
Right.
just love doing it. But I'm involved every single day. I will speak with drivers because I want to keep that connection because you never know who you are gonna meet. If I wasn't someone who was talking to drivers as much as I was doing back when I started, I wouldn't even have started the dispatching business the way I did it. So I still want to maintain close relationship with people. So that's why I will still stay involved because after all, they work with me. It's not like they work with the employee who is just doing his shipment bookings.
Yeah.
So I still
No,
want
that
to
makes
keep
sense.
that, and yeah, I will still talk to them, customers as well. I will still talk to them and try to develop it into just a relationship as well, a friendly relationship, not just a okay, you have a shipment, I quote you, you give me the shipment, I
Yep.
make my money, your shipment is delivered. So yeah, I'll always do that. I still stay in it,
Yep.
and also as I mentioned before, it's like a lot of people, the employees, let me put it that way, a lot of times they just can't come up with logical solutions to complex problems.
Yeah.
They can't even connect the dots. They can't
Uh-huh.
rely on previous issues they have solved, even though they were able to solve those issues in the past. They still can't come up with a new solution for this new issue they're facing. So there a lot
Yeah.
of times I still have to get involved and solve some of those issues, etc. So yeah, I'm totally involved in it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think there's, obviously a fine line, and I've caught myself too. It's like as business owners, we're all control freaks, and we all want things to be done a specific way. And it's like I'm always trying to find a balance between the job getting done like perfectly
Yeah,
versus me, helping somebody get to that. And I feel like a lot of times if I overstep, they're not going to be able to grow, in sales or in marketing or whatever the job is. If I'm just constantly like, no, no, let me do this, let me do this. So it is definitely a struggle as far as figuring out like you obviously want the job done perfectly and you want to continue to grow the business. But, at a certain point, it's like sometimes you got to almost let there be a little bit slippage just for somebody to grow. For example, I was
yeah,
training a sales rep and I just kept hopping in on all of his calls and I was pretty much saving majority of his deals. And I'm like, dude, I can't be doing this. Like I just caught myself. I was just doing it way too often. I'm like, bro, like I was just thinking this. I wasn't saying it to him, obviously, but I'm like, I just gotta let this guy just struggle, but just show him more behind the scenes how it
Yeah.
actually works. Because if I'm just constantly helping him out and saving him on deals, like it's not doing any of us a favor. I'm spending way too much time doing it, and then he's not growing as a sales rep. So that's something that's interesting. I'm sure you probably have some crazy stories for logistics. Have you had any crazy shit
Yeah.
happen? Like any cargo get stolen or anything like that?
Mhm. Yeah, I'll tell you about that. Yeah, but I just wanted to mention something as well about the thing you were talking about just now. It's like giving feedback is much better. Giving feedback to the employee
Right.
is much better after they have made that mistake. If it's not, of course, a fatal mistake or something like that,
100%.
Because this girl was. I realized this because all the other guys were working remotely, but I realized this difference when she was right next to me and she would do something. I would correct the mistake right on the spot. So I'm sitting there. She already kind of starts thinking and knowing that there is no way she's gonna make an actual mistake and see the consequences because I'm sitting next to her and I'm gonna correct her. So what I
Hmm.
did, I said, okay, for a few days we are gonna work remotely completely. You do your thing. I'm not gonna be there. Now you have to make sure you are quick enough. You see all the messages. You don't make mistakes. It's all on you now. So you let them be responsible. But when you are all the time there fixing everything, they don't actually learn anything. It's better to let them
Right.
do it their own way, then give feedback and say, hey, you did this way, do it this way next time. That works much better, definitely.
100%.
Being there all the time, being available all the time is not good to actually train the employee. And
Hmm.
about the crazy stories. Yeah, I mean, I never had my own shipment stolen. Never. But on the dispatching side, I've been scammed a few times. But as far as brokering
Hmm.
goes, I never let anyone steal my shipment because the way I check the carriers and everything is just kind of the system I have for checking carriers just works perfectly. I never
Right.
end up having any fraudulent or wrong carrier pick up my shipment. Just never happens to me. But with the dispatching side, yeah, I've been scammed quite a few times. But the craziest scam was we picked up a shipment from a shipper directly, and the shipper was a Chinese guy. This guy doesn't speak a word of English. We
Hmm.
picked it up, we delivered it. Now we want our payment, and this guy just hangs up the phone, doesn't want to answer, doesn't say anything. I even hired the lawyer to do it, to get the job done. And the
Yeah.
lawyer, after like 2 months of trying, contacted me and said, look, we've tried our best, but this guy just doesn't care. He is Chinese. We call him, he just doesn't give a fuck.
But he's in the
We,
US,
we
right?
tell, yeah, he's in the US. We talk about lawsuits, we talk about like demand letters, everything. He just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't understand a word of English, and he's like, okay, 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 bye. And he just hangs up the phone and doesn't give a fuck. And then you're like, okay, he owes me like 5K. Is it actually worth it for me to enter the
Right.
court system to get this 5K back, pay a lawyer, blah, blah? And then when you actually compare it, it's like, nah, it's not worth it. But I mean, that case was like the only one that ended up like that, where I was at a complete loss. The rest of it, I've been scammed by this. There's this. It probably doesn't happen as much now, but Landstar. You probably know Landstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Landstar is quite a popular one too. So they would just post shipments on the DAT load board, and I kind of think it's like they do it, but the shipment gets posted, you book it, comes out, it's not a Landstar shipment. And
Mm.
oh, boom, you got scammed. You didn't check to make sure, like you didn't call them and say, hey, is this shipment valid? Is this actually your shipment? You didn't do that. That's it. You're screwed. So every time I book a shipment, you should actually call and verify. I didn't do it. I wasn't aware of it at the time. Booked the shipment, delivered it, comes out. Landstar is gonna say it is not our shipment. I don't know why you're
Ah,
trying
shit.
to take the payment from us. And then yeah, that was another scam I fell into as a dispatch. That was like 4.5K. It was one of those loaded trailers we had to take from A to B. Never got paid for that one. Paid the driver, but never got paid for that one myself. I mean, ourselves, the carrier company, never got paid. Um, I've had brokerages like those fraudulent brokerages that post the shipment for. I don't know if you know about that, but there was this scam a while back. It doesn't happen as much anymore. Brokerages would just fraudulent ones, would post the shipment with extremely high price. You're like, oh, I want this shipment. Like the market rate would be 5K, they would post 7K, and you want to book it, right? It's 7K.
Yeah, exactly.
You take the shipment, and then you find out there's no money they are actually going to pay you. But if you find out on time, you actually go after the real broker and get your money. So gladly, that time I already had gained some experience. I found out who the real broker of that shipment was, got my money from them, got in touch with the FMCSA, closed that company down. I reported them everywhere. Like within a few hours, they were done.
Oh, really?
I was even but they found out like who I am. They found my phone number. They found me on Telegram. They would start messaging me on Telegram. They started creating accounts under my name, and then a lot of like slurs next to it.
Yeah.
These were people from my own country. And so yeah, they found out they were trying to threaten me and shit. But I mean, their company got closed. I got my payment, so that was that one. And I also had a friend whose shipment, which was full of tires. Like one of the agents in that brokerage gave the shipment of tires to some random carrier. Ended up being a fraudulent one. Took the tires, and what they do is they take it to a warehouse and they sell it. So she contacted me saying, can you help out with trying to find this? And I had some people who kind of know where usually these types of things happen, what warehouses these type of things get taken to. I told them, I sent them a picture of the BOL. I said, hey, these tires have been stolen. Can you possibly find out which warehouse these are at? They were able to locate it. We retrieved those tires, and that's the story. they retrieved the tires and got the tires back. But yeah, it costs quite a lot of money, you know. They do that with steel, they do that with tires, things that they can sell easily, you know.
Right.
And another one is those those chips, I think microchips or something.
Microchips, yep.
Yeah, those are like very high value, right?
Yep.
Yeah, though they still those as well. Steaks,
those steel microchips. Damn. That's crazy. I'm on a lot of like different, I was on a lot of different like freight broker Facebook groups. It was just a lot of back and forth, like drivers bitching about brokers and things like that. What's kind of your opinion about all that stuff?
I'm on both sides. So whenever I'm talking from the perspective of the driver, like I will try to fight with the brokerages if I need to get them something. But also at the same time, over time, I've learned that sometimes it's just better to take the slaps, like let the broker slap you, give them your check. I don't know how it says in the Bible, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just better to do that than fight with them, because if you fight with them over $250 of layover, or maybe there is detention, they don't want to pay, you have to push them, and they end up putting you in their do not use list of carriers, that's just not worth it. It's better to just say, okay, fuck you guys, are not paying me, all right, fuck off. I'm not going to fight you. That's all right. That's much better than actually fighting with them, getting the money, but they put you in do not use. It's just not worth it.
Right.
And in the case of customers, I've had that. I've fought with a customer who was starting to act way too problematic with every single shipment. And once I realized, okay, now I can kind of afford letting that customer go and focus on other things, I'll just let that customer go. But not from the beginning. Right. If I'm getting some money, it's okay. I will still bear with it. But and one of the other crazy things I just remembered is we had a carrier who approached us so we can provide them with dispatch services. The guy goes and picks up the shipment. Halfway through, he gets arrested.
Holy shit!
I tried to find out what happened, why he got arrested, and they tell us that the truck was stolen. That was one of the craziest things. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is he driving a stolen truck?
That's crazy.
And then I just told the brokerage what exactly happened. I was like, hey, I'm not sure how, but this guy's driving a stolen truck, so your trailer is here. Your trailer is there. Just hire another carrier to take the trailer, which is full of your freight, to the delivery. Man, I'm sorry, I don't know how the fuck that happened.
Dude, that's crazy. That is
a lot
crazy.
Of crazy things happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of other shit. I've heard some crazy stories of, especially, do you guys pick up in Mexico at all, or do any?
No, I don't do Mexico.
Because I know some people, they'll do, obviously, you're doing US, but if it comes in or comes out of Mexico or Canada, shit like that. But I know a lot of guys.
Canada, I do. Yeah, I do to Canada and back from Canada. Yeah, but not Mexico.
I'm in Mexico right now. But
Oh,
it's safe, but I'm like, bro, there's a lot of freight, I'm sure, but a lot of carriers don't want to come down here, which I mean, it
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I've heard of produce trucks just getting blown up and shit.
Blown up.
Yeah, there was a produce truck that got blown up by the cartel.
Damn.
That was, in Sinaloa, which is
Yeah.
crazy. So you've been in Dubai for 3 years,
No, no, I said 2 years and 3 months.
two
Three,
years and
four.
3 months.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
how do you like Dubai?
Amazing. Amazing.
That's what I've heard.
At the moment, I'm like, I never want to leave. At the moment, that's how I'm feeling.
Why do you like it so much?
Because of the people mostly. Because I don't know how it is in the US, but here, if you look someone in the eye, for example, for 5 seconds, then what they will usually do is give you a head nod with their hand to their heart. Just give you a head nod and smile. In my country, that will turn into a fight. You might end up stabbing each other and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the things I love here. People are just positive. I mean, not everyone, but for the most part, it's positive.
Right.
And even the labor, construction workers, everyone is smiling. The whole good vibe is just something different. It's like the environment overall is very positive and full of energy. So yeah, that's one of the main things. The clean streets, the weather, the speed at which everything is done here.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the things. I hate the traffic though. The traffic
Yeah, I've
sucks.
heard traffic is pretty bad. It's pretty, everyone says though, it's like just so convenient if you're getting your groceries delivered or food delivered, like you can get it dropped off within like,
Yeah, like 10 minutes, bro.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
where I'm at, so I've been traveling Latin America for the past year. Um, but where I'm at right now is, so I'm in Mexico. I'm in what's called Puerto Escondido, Mexico. But dude, it's like off the beaten path. It's cool. Crazy beach, but dude, it's like very, very off the beaten path. So like there's no Uber, there's no delivery or anything. So like a lot of the back roads, they're unpaved. So it's dirt roads. So
Mm.
like we're on ATVs, mopeds, motorcycles, and shit like that. So like sometimes I do miss, and I've only been here for 3 weeks, but like being in a big city when you get shit dropped off in like 5 or 10 minutes, it's just so nice. So
That's very convenient. Yeah. Very convenient.
yeah. And you're getting, is it still 0% tax, or I thought or are they getting rid of
Yeah.
that?
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like a threshold. If you cross that, yeah, you might pay some, but still, it's like
Way
if
lower.
there is a reason for you to pay tax, it's still okay. If you
Yeah,
know you are going to pay a certain amount of tax, and still you are living in a nice place like this, it's
right,
worth it, you know. But if
right.
I'm gonna pay tax and the streets are full of garbage, they don't care. Like the government or whatever doesn't care to make some rules where people are afraid, straight up afraid to throw garbage on the floor. And
Yeah,
that's fucked up. Why am I paying tax for?
yeah, 100%. Dude, I mean, like I said, for the past year, I was in the US once, which was two months, or not even 3 weeks ago. I was back home for a wedding, but it's like,
Hmm.
dude, my business is registered in Florida. Florida is the lowest tax because there's no state tax, you just pay federal tax. I'm still paying 30%.
Damn,
But like, dude, California, for
a lot.
example, is like in the 40s. Like, there's
Yeah.
other states that are very, very high. Like New York is the same thing. And it's like, bro,
Mm.
we're getting all of our taxpayer dollars is just getting sent out to you know who, which we can't say on
What about,
YouTube.
can't you just switch it and bring it here? Register your business here?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely can. And we have Puerto Rico too, because Puerto Rico's 3%, so it's very, very low. I
Mm.
don't know what I would have to do as far as getting it in Dubai. The one downside of being in Dubai, but I mean, you're dealing with it is time zone difference with sales.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of sucks, yeah. But I've gotten used to it, to the
What
nighttime,
what time do you
nighttime
typically
work,
go to bed then?
like morning,
Like
like
5
eight,
a.m.,
like eight. No, 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 later, like eight,
8
sometimes
a.m.
10.
So it's
Yeah, it kind of
obvious.
depends on the energy levels. Yeah,
Does that not? It was. I guess you've always
I've
been out
gotten used to
there. Yeah, you've gotten used to it. That's interesting.
it.
I have a bunch of buddies that are in, Vietnam and the Philippines and things like that, but they're taking, they're closers, they're taking sales calls for companies in the US. It's like, dude, that's got to be even worse. Um, but I mean, I'm sure you get used to it. And it's, just normal every single day shit.
Yeah, I don't even like the daytime much anymore. I just like nighttime.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
you feel like Batman. It's like you're making money at the
Yeah.
which is fire.
Yeah.
So I guess, do you have any like what are your 5 or 10 year goals? Just keep hammering logistics. Are you looking to exit or you just don't have any goal in mind as far as that? You're just gonna keep ripping it.
I don't wanna have my own trucks. I don't want to
Okay.
have my own trucks and just keep growing the customer base and then also expand into like things like buying land, real estate, things like this. But yeah, but the main goal I would say is just owning trucks. I just actually was arranging the very first truck of my own with a partner who is located in the US. That's gonna be the very first truck which I own to a degree. So that's
Mhm.
the one that's in process at the moment, just registering it. But yeah, I want to, so I can have my company on these trucks because in Dubai, there's Amar on all these buildings. I don't know if
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
that. Yeah, I want my name to be on all these trucks. Yeah, then that'll be cool.
Yeah,
And then
that'd be
have a
fire.
building. Yeah, and then have a building like a corporate office, a big building with the company name or my name on it. So that's the type of things I want.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Have you been to the US?
Nah,
Not yet. You gotta
never.
go at least. Well, so your truck will be in the US, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll have to see it one day in person. Or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
not.
hopefully, hopefully, yeah. I don't know. I got declined. I tried only one time. I got applied for a visa, but I got declined. That was 4 years ago, I think.
For a tourist visa?
Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to get there. It kind of is.
Yeah.
But I mean, for anyone who will be watching this, I've never been in the U.S. and was able to do U.S. domestic transportation completely remotely. So just imagine what you can do if you are in the U.S. So it's a
100%.
a lot. It's a lot about your decisiveness and willingness and desire to do something, and you can definitely get it done. A
100%.
lot of people were telling me like it's impossible to work with manufacturing companies directly when you are not in the U.S. I was like, shut the fuck up.
No, definitely not.
I'm gonna do that.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But well, I appreciate you for hopping on. I guess, do you want people to reach out anywhere? Do you have any socials you want to drop or anything?
Yeah, Instagram over Hustla, like
I
HUSTLA
can put it in the
after Hustla.
description.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, just do that, please. Just
Cool.
Instagram and yeah, the YouTube, same thing over Hustla, free PL. Those two.
3PL. Perfect.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so
Anything
much.
else? Anything else you
Nope.
wanna say?
No, but it was a pleasure. I apologize for the first time I missed
Oh
the
no, you're all
missed the
good.
call. But yeah,
Cool.
that's it, man.
All right, my boy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you very much. You have a good day.